Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Okay, I think we need to talk about Trump trying to be the Pope.
Do we really need to talk about Trump trying to be the Pope?
So this was sent to me by Jordan, but like,
Can we talk about anything else? Anyone else?
It's so dumb.
It is.
I pulled the Lindsey Graham tweet, so we don't need to talk about that now. It's going to come up later. It's just so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. Like, he just straight up said, yeah, Conclave started today.
I'm gonna forget this.
I'm looking out for pink smoke. We got the first trans pope.
I'm gonna forget this if I don't say it right now. But when I heard that Lindsey Graham had basically said what he did, I thought that I was reading it as James Lindsay, because at least James Lindsay made
that makes sense, right? That makes sense.
That makes way more sense than somebody who actually has a job. I mean, what?
Absolutely. No, you know what? I don't consider member of Congress to be a real job anymore.
I don't agree with you, because if I were to agree with you, I would be throwing people like Bernie and AOC who live that job and try to fight for people's rights as hard as they can.
No, it can be a real job, but as like, when I think of a real job, I think of a job that actually, like, there are consequences for your actions if you don't do it well. So like me, YouTuber, if I don't do my job well, if I start slacking off and being lazy with my videos and not putting effort into it, people stop watching. Thank you for that.
Viewership goes down.
My viewership goes down. People don't become patrons. I lose patrons that I currently have, and that affects me. That impacts me. Anyway, as you are all probably aware, Trump floated the idea of him being Pope, and then somebody made an AI image of it, and then Trump posted it, and then the White House Twitter account posted it. And Catholics were not impressed, which is kind of funny because a lot of them voted for Trump.
I think they are very, very, like, it's their religion, so it makes sense that they would say, yeah, but you have to be part of the papal state. Like, you have to be one of the people who has gone through clergy in order to become the Pope. If you're like, they're gonna stick to that shit as hard as they can. Also, every time that I think papal, I think a PayPal state, and then I remember that Elon Musk had a big share in PayPal and wants to make us go down the era of techno-feudalism, and then I get really sad.
Yeah. Because
a PayPal state could very well become a thing, and that makes me kind of want to ram my head through drywall.
Yep. Yeah, Fenix pointing out the only qualifications are male and Catholic. Yes, that is true. However, Trump is not Catholic.
So this is one of those de facto de jure things. Like, yes, de jure maybe it's male and Catholic is the only thing that matters, but the default has always been selection from clergy.
Yeah, I want Pizza Balla to win, just so that we can have Pope Pizza Balla, because I think that's hilarious.
Rome is in Italy.
Jess is saying, I hate that he's our first atheist president. Yeah, but he's only atheist in his private life, and I would even doubt that, because like a lot of people, when I refer to him as an atheist, it's like if you think he actually believes in Christianity, like I got a bridge to sell you.
I'm of the opinion that he is, like Adolf Hitler before him, a politician first and foremost, which I know sounds weird because he's called himself a businessman first and foremost, but he's failed at that. So we're just going to go ahead and call him what he actually is, a liar for trade. And the cool thing about everybody who has a lot of power as a liar for trade is they know to utilize whatever the dominant religion is in the area to make the populace do what they want. This is a
Mhm.
commonality between not just every dictator, but also every person, with one exception. If memory serves, there was some other shit that Stalin tried. But generally speaking, with your dictators, they are going to use, and most of your leaders, they are going to use the prominent religion of the area. So in America, the prominent religion here is, I mean, technically baptism, all things considered, but realistically, the prominent religion is just Protestant Christianity.
Yeah.
Some flavor of Protestant Christianity is the thing that dominates America. So, of course, that's what Trump appeals to.
And this is where I can say, like, I am convinced that he does not believe in God, except maybe he considers himself a god. Um, so in his heart of hearts, I don't think he believes in God. But it doesn't matter what's in his heart of hearts. What matters is what he says and does. And
Yeah.
he says and does things that indicate Christianity to be the religion that he at least pretends to believe. So this is where, like, it's the same thing with Hitler. Anytime an apologist brings up Hitler and says, "See what atheism leads to," and it's like, okay, but okay, maybe Hitler was an atheist. I don't think he was. He definitely wasn't a Christian, but I don't think he was an atheist. There was too much occult stuff and supernatural stuff that he was dabbling in. That, like, I could see him believing in some sort of God. Yeah, Hitler was a Roman Catholic. I'm not talking about officially. I'm talking about in his heart of hearts what he actually believed. But the thing is, he had to make use of Christianity in order to accomplish what he did. So, like,
Yep.
you can say that, oh, Hitler was an atheist, look at the bad thing that the atheist did. But doesn't that make Christianity look so much worse when you realize that the atheist couldn't do that by saying, "I am an atheist and this is what I shall do"? He had to pretend to be a Christian because then the Christians would do the thing that he couldn't accomplish as an atheist. So, like, atheism wins that one. If you say Hitler was an atheist, then yeah. And he had to pretend not to be in order to do the things that he did.
In order to do a genocide. Oh, by the way, the United States is participating in a couple of genocides. And oh, by the way, dominant religion here and
At
religion
least
that is
two that I
exploited.
can think of off the top of my head.
The two that I'm thinking of are trans people and homelessness, but I guess three if you count Gaza.
Yeah, I was counting Gaza, so yeah, 3.
Like, America, hostile architecture in general is an attempt to eliminate homeless people, because if you make hostile architecture and homeless people don't have a place to go, they only have one option, and that is die.
Yeah. Yeah, like, where I physically
I'm just going to
need to
assume
sleep
that
somewhere.
that is the side effect of being where I am.
Yeah. Okay, we've lost Cirrus's visual.
Okay,
And,
can I reset it? Can I reset it and get it back?
well,
No,
we can
that is
hear we can
terribly out
hear
of
you
sync.
again,
What the
but
hell?
the delay is horrible.
Jesus Christ. Well, I guess I'm just going to be like this for a little bit.
All right. Yeah, everybody in Cirrus's hotel is watching porn now. So
I guess it's because I'm here and they know the reputation that I have. I don't know how they know that. And
hotel Wi-Fi is bullshit. Yeah, you know what? I've never had these problems when I've been away in hotels and streaming. Just saying. Seems like a skill issue.
I know where you live.
Do you?
You actually have sent me your address once or twice.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I don't know where you live because my
I've moved since I sent you my address.
Not only have you done that, but also my WhatsApp deletes messages after a while for
7
space
days,
saving.
7 days.
So I don't have that information. Never mind. I can't make do on any threats. Anyway, where do you live?
Canada.
All right. We're gonna need bigger nukes.
Yeah. Yeah, so Trump posting about being the Pope, he seemed to be serious about it. This is one of those things where all of his defenders will be like, "Oh, he was obviously joking. It's obviously just a joke. Haha, he's joking about it." It's
like, even if he's joking, why can we not take the words of the President of the United States seriously?
Well, you can take them seriously as long as it's not something patently ridiculous. Never mind the fact that he believes the patently ridiculous things. Like, I'm sure you saw the clip of him reacting to the journalist telling him that the MS-13 on Abrego Garcia's knuckles was photoshopped.
Yes, where
And it's
he
like,
just was like,
if you
"Do you
just,
want me to? Do you want me to show you the photo? Do you want
it's
me to
like,
show you the photo?
yeah,
It's
show me the
real."
photo. I can show. Yeah, I will absolutely look at the photo where we can clearly see that it's just somebody typed in photo. Like, they didn't even try to make it look real. Like, I think what they were trying to do with that was to say that the tattoos that are actually on his knuckles stood for the letter M, the S13, and so like they were just labeling them as like this is what
Yeah,
it
because it
stands
was
for.
because
But
doesn't his
Trump,
knuckles just have like MS cross skull?
no, it wasn't. There weren't even letters. There was like a smiley face, a marijuana leaf.
Oh, marijuana smile,
And
cross skull.
something like that. I don't know, but like, so I think that's what they were going for. Whoever did that, because it clearly was not meant to look like a tattoo. But Trump is such a fucking idiot that he saw that and was like, "Oh, see, he got MS-13 just tattooed straight on his knuckles."
Also, just a sidebar, if you're in a prominent gang like that and you're having to engage in gang activity, which often involves espionage, why the fuck would you tattoo that shit on your knuckles where everybody can see it? That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, actually, from what I heard, actual MS-13 gang members do just tattoo MS-13 on their bodies as a sign of loyalty.
That sounds insanely stupid.
It's not smart to join a gang. So there's kind of a selection process there.
I understand that. It's just one of those things that like
I mean, also, like, I say that, but like I do recognize that sometimes people get pressured into it and they don't really have a choice in the matter. But
yeah, there are people that find themselves in the situation where they are just
and
in
and
a
Abrego
gang because
Garcia
of-
was one of those people. That was why he was in the
that
States
was
in the
why
first
he was
place.
here,
And it
Yeah.
wasn't MS-13; it was the other one. But
which was the one that the barber got thrown in for.
yeah,
I can't remember the name of that one.
I don't remember either. It's irrelevant, really. But yeah, so Trump is just a fucking idiot who he appears to believe all the things that he says. And so far, every time we have taken him seriously on something and then been told, "Oh, he was just joking," he has then turned around and tried to do that thing. So
Also, even if he was joking, I don't think Lindsey Graham was.
no,
That did not read like a joke tweet. That this is like a we're not talking about the parade today, are we? Or are we talking about the parade?
no, we're not talking about the parade.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to go ahead and bring this up now. So you've seen everything about the military parade that he's going to be doing on June 14th, right? So you saw that this is being billed as a celebration of the army that just happens to take place on Trump's birthday, that just happens to be in Washington, D.C. But don't worry, it's about the army specifically. So this feels like one of those things where we're going to call it what it is, which is a parade for Trump because he has stated that he wants to have a military parade. He's idolized military parades in places like North Korea.
Yeah.
But when we call that out, people are going to go, no, don't you see? It's not a military parade for Trump. It's just celebrating the army. What are you, not a patriot? Do you not like the U.S. military or support our troops? What's wrong with you?
When was the last time they had a military parade like that?
We don't.
Yeah, exactly.
The last time it was suggested outside of with Trump was with Eisenhower, and Eisenhower said only despots and weak leaders do a military parade like that.
Sometimes both. Yeah. But yeah, back to the Pope thing with him taking it seriously. He later said that, like, oh, no Catholics were offended by that. It was just the news media making up, like, pretending to be offended so they could have something bad to say about me. But so Cardinal Timothy Dolan, who was a Trump supporter, said, there's nothing clever or funny about this image, Mr. President. Oh, no, that was the New York State Catholic Conference. He said, I hope he didn't have anything to do with it. It wasn't good. As Italians say, it was bruta figura, which means embarrassing, I guess. And I also know that I didn't pronounce that right. No need to correct me.
No, correct him in the comments section. It's good for engagement.
The Catholic Conference, New York State Catholic Conference also said, we just buried our beloved Pope Francis and the cardinals are about to enter a solemn conclave to elect a new successor of St. Peter. Do not mock us. Father James Martin said that people were surprised by it and thought it was in incredibly poor taste, but over here in Rome, I love this, but over here in Rome, most people are more concerned about the next Pope than the current president. So, like, yes, the Catholics were offended by it. But the people in Rome are just like, yeah, fuck that guy. We don't care. He's just an idiot. Which I kind of love that one. But yeah, this is just another one of those instances of Trump being like, if I say it, it must be true. So I say that nobody was offended by it. Therefore, nobody was offended by it.
Therefore, nobody was offended by it. Nobody possibly could be offended by the idea of you shitting over hundreds of years of religious tradition for people who believe that this is the key to them getting into the afterlife and living forever. That would not offend anybody whatsoever.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not above this sort of thing myself. Like, I could absolutely see me making a joke.
We're going to shit on the pedophile Catholic Church.
I could absolutely see me making a joke about me becoming the next pope for some reason. I don't know, and doing something stupid with it. Like, hey,
there's nothing.
I will make sure the Catholic Church rapes fewer kids. Sorry, that's not actually something stupid. That's something they should do. And I would absolutely shit on that. But I'm not the president of the United States.
It's not even that you're not the president of the United States. I'm because like if a different atheist were in there and he shot on the Catholic Church, we'd be celebrating that. So I'm not even going to say it's because he's the president of the United States. I'm going to say it's the flagrant denial of reality that's my main issue. No, I didn't offend anybody. Yeah, there's people who really want me to do it. Yeah, this is totally a thing that's going to happen. Like, no. That's the thing that I have issues with. I have issues with a president who lives more in his play pretend world and then tries to shape the world around that play pretend world more than anything else.
Drew Harrison says, the bishops offered me the gig. I told them I'm too busy smoking dope. Yeah, how do you think they make the smoke black or white or whatever color it is?
They just sit in there for several days
they just
getting pizza. No, they're just baking pizza. Lots of pizzas.
Mm-hmm.